What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement, still moving. This video is entitled When Sex Became Less Important. It changed the way I viewed dating, the way I viewed approaching people, the way I viewed actually compatibility when sex became less important. And I think it changed the aspect of fun. And I'm saying this for guys, for men and women, young men, young women, some people who are older who sex is still overly important. First thing happened was it made me look at women as people, because they're at a certain age, guys are chasing sex and women are using sex as a that's the primary objective. So that's what's on the table on both sides. And because of that, the nervousness of, am I going to say the right thing or do the right thing? Or, let me work on my game and tighten my game. And it's like, at a certain point, it's like, we're adults. Because it's more about acceptance that at a certain age, you wouldn't be talking to somebody if you weren't sexually attracted to them. So once you get that out of the way, it kind of makes sex secondary, because it's like, I want you, and if you still sitting here talking, I'm gonna assume you want me too. Period. So this is just a audition to see who if we're gonna go forward, or somebody's gonna mess this up. Which brings me to another point. When I was younger, girls would say, you guys say something to mess it up. And I don't know what I was doing, but I heard that in my early 20s, and I was like, you know what? I implemented it in my early 20s. I heard it prior to that, but I went out and I just wouldn't talk. I meet a girl, dance, chill out, we have a good time, but I wouldn't say anything. And because I didn't say anything, it kind of flowed to actually having sex at the end of the night, because I didn't say anything to turn them off. And it wasn't like, at first it was like, it was happenstance, because I was like, ain't really got nothing to talk about, so we having a good time. And then I was like, wait a minute. You know what? I'm just not gonna say nothing. Once we kind of have this unwritten agreement that we like in each other, I'm not gonna say nothing. And that increased the quote unquote one night standism, if you will. But past that, it desensitized me towards sex, and in that sense, in the sense of, after a while, I would get turned off by women who are overly sexual. So the more you out there, the more you showing off, the more I'm like, all right, whatever. Because if if you're leading with sex, that's pretty much all you got, And I learned that over the years. Is like, it didn't become primary, because people who lead with sex is normally a way to get you sucked in. It's the same as when, you want somebody to fall in love with you first before you drop the hammer on them that is something not right about. You got a big red flag or elephant in the room that if you just met a person, you'd be like, nah, I can't, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And I think sex was the same way. And, all adding to that, it helped me with decision making, because you make bad decisions for, in dating, whether it's time-wise or financially, when the possibility of sex is on the table, and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that at some point, at some point, at some point. It's like, look, listen, man, if that person wanted to be with you, they would. But you know, you're gonna get used because people use sex as a tool to get stuff out of people. You know, and when it becomes secondary, you kind of take that off the table. Like, okay, you know, you start seeing it. It takes it takes it you're not blind to it anymore. You can see somebody like, you know, don't you want to be with me? I remember it started for me in college. This girl told me she was a virgin or whatever, and then we was chilling, and then one day she said something to the aspect of, you know, basically you ain't gonna act like that if I give you this. And I'm sitting there looking at her like, all right, man. Oh, okay. You know, 2 days ago you was a virgin. Now you just gonna give me okay. So it became, you know, sex became a weapon. And the same thing on the other spectrum. You know, if you're a guy and you can put it down, let's put it like that. You know, women date other guys and come back to you, and it makes you look at sex and women differently when you know for a fact that this woman is dating, but when it comes to it's time to go to the bedroom, she could be on a date and then come to your house afterwards. You know, knowing that she wasn't going to do anything with the guy. And then at some point she's going to do something with the guy, and then it's going to be like, okay, if you're still better than the guy that she was with, she's going to continue to date him, but she's going to continue to sleep with you. And it made people go, oh, okay, you know, I've been that guy on both ends, right? It's like, oh, okay. But you don't know, you don't know you buying a flower and candy and she going home with the other guy until you're the other guy that's not buying a flower and candy. Sometimes it doesn't resonate with you as well. But that's another aspect of it where, you know, when sex becomes unimportant, you go, oh, okay. Now, something else that happens in this is where you start to see how sex is a drug. And people are addicted to it because either it's a part of their celebratory high or it's a part of their stress high. And it's going to become unimportant when it's a stress high. When, you know, because some people are making their life bad on purpose to be stressed out to have sex. And it's like, you know, and some people are celebrating so much that they're ruining their lives, but sex is involved. So it looks good in the beginning, but it's not really so good in the end. You know, and then, you know, ultimately, you know, when sex becomes unimportant is when you really have life goals and sex becomes secondary to your life goals, right? And you wind up seeing that you're going to wind up interacting with people who their life goal is to use sex to better their life, to get with somebody who's trying to achieve something in their life, and what they're trying to bring in a sense of balance is I'm going to have sex with you to balance out your life, so I can get a benefit from you having goals, and it's a lot of competition with that. Where, you know, when you just out there being young and having fun, it's not a big deal. Oh, last thing. It really becomes unimportant when you get older and you start realizing that some people are too old for sex to be their primary objective. You know, and it's like it becomes a turnoff because it's like all you got is sexuality at this age. maybe kids, a lot of failed relationships, but you're not moving anywhere forward in life in a progressive manner. All you got is sex. And then sometimes you get older, you're not as attractive as you used to be. So it's like you should be working on something else. And this is how it becomes unimportant, you know. At least this is some of the aspects. I'm done. Catch you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.